You think you know Chichen Itza, towering pyramid, tourist photos, ancient Maya ruins in Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula? But walk the stones at dawn when the crowds thin out, and you feel it, something deeper. Something that makes archaeologists stop mid-sentence and stare at walls that shouldn't exist, buildings that defy engineering logic, acoustic tricks that boggle physics professors, blood rituals that carve patterns into human bones in ways modern medicine can't replicate. 12 mysteries sit in these ruins, 12 puzzles that have stumped scientists for decades. Some involve math that shouldn't exist in the 9th century. Others involve construction techniques we can't duplicate today. All of them point to knowledge that history books say the Maya never had. Which secrets did they take to their graves? What did they know that we forgot? And why do some of these mysteries make researchers pack up their equipment and walk away? If you value documented ancient history like this, subscribe. It's the best way to support our work. I'll also comment from which city you're hearing this from. This script is researched and factual, using sources from the Carnegie Institution and the Instituto Nacional de Antropología e Historia. Now, back to the story. Number 1. El Castillo's impossible math. The pyramid stands 91 steps on each face. 4 faces, 364 steps total. Add the platform on top, 365, 1 for each day of the year. But here's what breaks your brain. The Maya built this between 800 and 900 CE. Their calendar calculations required them to track Venus cycles across 584 days, Mars cycles across 780 days, lunar months across 29.5 days, all simultaneously. You try it. Grab a calculator and work out when Venus returns to the same spot in the sky after exactly 8 years. The Maya got it right to within hours. Modern astronomers using computers match their numbers almost perfectly. The Caracol Observatory Tower shows sight lines that track Venus rising at its maximum southern position. Every 8 years, every Venus cycle, perfect alignment, but the math gets stranger. Count the stone panels on El Castillo's sides, 52 on each face, times 4 faces, 208 total, exactly 4 calendar rounds of 52 years each. The Maya tracked time in nested cycles that modern computers strain to calculate. They carved it into stone with tools that couldn't cut steel, calculated, built, measured. The pyramid doesn't just honor their calendar, it is their calendar. 3 dimensions of pure mathematics standing in the jungle. Number 2, the feathered serpent's shadow show. Twice each year, at spring and fall equinox, something impossible happens on El Castillo's north face. Late afternoon sun hits the stepped edges just right. 7 triangular shadows appear along the staircase's western side. Perfect triangles. Each one connects to form a wavy line that moves down the pyramid as the sun drops. 34 minutes of optical illusion that ends when the shadow touches the giant serpent head carved at the bottom. You're watching Kukulkan, the feathered serpent god, descend from heaven to earth. Exactly what Maya priests promised would happen. Exactly when their calendar said it would happen. Every equinox. For over 1,000 years. But here's the engineering problem. Build a stepped pyramid that creates this exact shadow sequence using 9th century tools and 9th century knowledge of light angles. Account for seasonal sun positions. Account for the pyramid's orientation, exactly 15.5 degrees northeast of true north. Account for each step's precise height and depth so the shadows align perfectly. Modern architects with computer modeling struggle to duplicate this effect. They built it on the first try. No practice runs, no second chances. Stone doesn't forgive mistakes. The shadow serpent descends every March 20th and September 22nd. Same time, same angle, same 40,000 tourists watching in silence. Astronomy, geometry, theater. The Maya turned mathematics into a religious experience that still draws crowds today. Number 3, acoustic miracles that shatter physics. Stand at the bottom of El Castillo. Clap your hands once. The pyramid claps back, not an echo. Something else. The sound that returns matches the call of the Quetzal bird, sacred bird of Kukulkan. Chirp, chirp, chirp. Exactly the right frequency, exactly the right tone. David Lubman, acoustics engineer, recorded the effect in 1998. His sound analysis showed the pyramid's steps act like a giant speaker. Each step reflects sound waves at slightly different frequencies. Combined, they create the Quetzal's call, a 1,000-year-old sound system built into stone architecture. But walk to the Great Ball Court. Whisper at one end. Someone at the opposite end, 514 feet away, hears every word clearly. Whisper near the center walls. Your voice gets amplified and thrown back so loud it startles you. Speak normally in the center circle. Your voice bounces off the walls 13 times before it fades. Acoustic engineers measured reverberation times, frequency responses, amplification factors. The ball court performs like a concert hall designed by experts who understood sound wave physics. They shaped every wall curve to focus sound energy. They positioned the rings at exact heights to create acoustic focal points. Who taught them? Maya texts mention sound rituals, priests who could throw their voices across vast distances, sacred games where players heard the gods speaking through the walls, but the physics manuals that could produce these effects don't exist in any Maya library. Designed, calculated, built, sound waves became supernatural voices in stone chambers that still echo today. If you value documented ancient mysteries like this, subscribe. It's the best way to support our work. Also comment from which city you're hearing this from. Number 4, the cenote of human sacrifice, 60 feet down into the Sacred Cenote. Dark water that hides secrets archaeologists still can't explain. Edward Thompson dredged the bottom starting in 1904. What came up changed everything. Gold discs, jade ornaments, copper bells, human skeletons with cut marks that follow patterns modern forensics can't duplicate. 54 human skulls, carved with precision tools, holes drilled at exact anatomical points, cut marks along jaw lines that suggest ritual removal of facial muscles. All in patterns that matched no known surgical technique. All done while the victims were alive. Blood pooling patterns and bone grooves prove it. But here's what breaks the pattern. Mixed in with obvious sacrifice, victims, children, adults, elderly, are skeletons showing no trauma. No cut marks, no violence indicators. They just drowned. Or were they drugged first? Toxicology tests on bone samples show chemical traces that don't match any known Maya plant compounds. Guillermo de Anda, underwater archaeologist, found more remains in 2017. Advanced diving equipment revealed sacrifice chamber areas at the cenote's bottom, stone platforms, altar arrangements, ritual tools still in position after 1,000 years underwater. Everything points to ceremonies that required scientific knowledge of human anatomy the Maya supposedly didn't have. Yet the bone modifications follow surgical procedures that would challenge modern doctors. Skull trepanation with survival rates over 60%, jaw surgery that reshaped facial structures without killing patients, dental modifications using techniques that wouldn't be rediscovered until the 20th century. Calculated, executed, perfected. They turned human sacrifice into precision medicine that saved lives and ended them with equal skill. Number 5, magnetic anomalies that shouldn't exist. Compass needles go crazy at Chichen Itza, not just tourist compasses. Scientific magnetometers designed to measure Earth's magnetic field show readings that don't match geological surveys. Hot spots of magnetic intensity directly under major buildings. Cold spots in areas that should show normal readings. The anomalies center on El Castillo. Magnetic field strength increases by 40% directly beneath the pyramid's center. Geological surveys find no iron deposits, no magnetic rock formations, no natural explanation for magnetometer readings that spike every time researchers take measurements near the pyramid's base. But the pattern gets stranger. Other Maya sites show normal magnetic readings. Tikal, Palenque, Calakmul, all built with similar limestone and mortar techniques, all showing magnetic fields that match geological expectations. Only Chichen Itza breaks the pattern. Ground-penetrating radar reveals underground chamber networks that follow the magnetic anomaly patterns. Hidden rooms, unexplored tunnels, structural elements that seem designed to channel or concentrate magnetic fields. But Maya texts contain no references to magnetic phenomena. No words for magnetic attraction, no concepts that match the engineered magnetic environment their buildings created. Modern theories suggest accidental magnetic concentration caused by iron-rich mortar or hidden iron deposits. But spectrographic analysis of building stones shows iron content within normal limestone ranges. Chemical analysis of mortar shows no magnetic materials. Built, engineered, hidden. The Maya created magnetic environments they had no scientific framework to understand or explain. Number 6, the crystal skull problem. The Mitchell-Hedges skull, found at Lubantun, not Chichen Itza, but connected to Maya crystal carving traditions that center on Chichen Itza workshops, carved from single piece of quartz. Crystal, perfect human skull proportions, detachable jaw. No tool marks visible under electron microscope analysis, but here's the manufacturing problem. Quartz crystal ranks 7 on hardness scale. You need diamond-tipped tools or industrial abrasives to carve fine details. The Maya used obsidian blades and stone chisels. Maximum hardness rating 5.5. Physically impossible to carve 7 hardness crystal with 5 hardness tools without leaving microscopic scratches. Yet the skull shows no scratches, no tool marks, no evidence of the grinding, chipping, and polishing techniques that carved crystal requires Electron microscope examination in 1969 revealed smooth surfaces that match no known carving method. The crystal structure shows no stress fractures that hand carving would create. Anna Mitchell Hedges claimed her father found it in 1924. Archaeological context suggests much earlier origin. Radiocarbon dating can't be used on crystal. Stylistic analysis points to pre-Columbian Maya craftsmanship. But manufacturing analysis points to modern industrial techniques that didn't exist before the 20th century. The skull weighs 11 pounds, 7 ounces. Perfect balance point allows it to pivot on its base with minimal finger pressure. Light passing through the crystal creates internal prism effects that project rainbow patterns onto surrounding surfaces. Optical engineering that requires understanding of crystal light physics, carved, polished, balanced. The Maya created optical instruments from materials they couldn't technically work with, using methods that left no evidence. Number 7, the platform of Venus and impossible alignments. The circular building west of El Castillo tracks Venus through its complete cycle, 584-day cenotic period, 8 Earth years, 5 Venus years. The Maya calculated this cycle to decimal precision that matches modern orbital mechanics, but Venus tracking requires more than calendar math. The platform's windows align with Venus rising positions at maximum northern elongation, maximum southern elongation, superior conjunction, inferior conjunction, and both greatest elongations east and west. 7 different sky positions tracked through one building's sight lines. You try it. Calculate when Venus reaches greatest eastern elongation. Account for Earth's orbital variation, account for Venus's orbital eccentricity, account for precession changes over 1,000-year periods. The Maya got it right, using naked eye observation and stone tools. No telescopes, no precision instruments, no mechanical calculators. Carbon dating of wooden lintels in the platform shows construction around 860 CE. Tree ring analysis confirms the date. Venus cycle calculations carved into nearby stone tablets match computer models for Venus positions during that exact time period. Perfect correlation between theory and practice. But the engineering challenge breaks modern architects. 7 different sight lines through one circular building. Each line precisely aligned to specific Venus positions. Each line calculated for 1,000-year accuracy despite precession changes that slowly shift star positions over centuries. The Maya treated Venus as a war star. Venus rising meant time to attack. Venus setting meant time to retreat. Military campaigns followed Venus cycles with religious precision. Conquered cities show destruction layers that match Venus calendar dates exactly. Calculated, built, verified, they turned planetary motion into military strategy that conquered most of the Yucatan Peninsula. Number 8, the Great Ball Court's acoustic weapon theory. 514 feet long, 166 feet wide, walls 30 feet high, the largest ball court in Mesoamerica. But recent acoustic analysis suggests it wasn't built for games, it was built for sound warfare. Acoustic engineer Stephen Waller discovered that shouts from the court's center create sound pressure levels exceeding 120 decibels at the walls, volume levels that cause physical pain in human ears. Sustained exposure causes hearing damage, concentrated sound beams that could disorient attacking armies. The court's shape focuses sound energy like a parabolic reflector. Shouts from the center get amplified and directed outward in concentrated beams. Multiple people shouting in sequence create acoustic interference patterns that multiply volume levels beyond human tolerance. But here's the tactical problem. Position defending warriors along the court's edges. Have them shout in coordinated sequences while enemies approach the court's center. The acoustic focusing effect creates sound pressure zones that could stop charging warriors in their tracks. Temporary deafness, disorientation, panic response to sound levels that human nervous systems interpret as physical attack. Maya warfare texts describe battles where the gods spoke through stone, and enemy warriors fled without fighting. Acoustic warfare would explain these accounts. Sound weapons that turned architecture into artillery. The ball court's construction required understanding of acoustic physics that wouldn't be formalized until the 20th century. Parabolic reflection, sound wave interference, decibel measurement, frequency amplification, all engineered into stone architecture using 9th century building techniques, designed, tested, deployed. The Maya turned ball games into acoustic weapons that could win battles without bloodshed. Number 9, hieroglyph complexity that breaks linguistics. Maya writing uses over 800 individual glyphs. Each glyph represents syllables, whole words, art, or abstract concepts. Many glyphs have multiple readings depending on context. Linguistic complexity that rivals modern Chinese writing systems. But Maya glyphs encode information at multiple levels simultaneously. Phonetic level, syllable sounds, logographic level, whole word meanings, symbolic level, religious or astronomical concepts, mathematical level, calendar and numerical data. 4 different information streams packed into single symbols. Yuri Nerosov cracked the phonetic code in 1952. David Stewart decoded historical texts in the 1980s. Linda Schiele translated religious meanings through the 1990s. Each breakthrough revealed new layers of information complexity that earlier researchers missed. Modern computational linguistics uses artificial intelligence to decode Maya texts, pattern recognition algorithms designed for complex language processing, even with computer assistance. Over 30% of Maya glyphs remain untranslated. Information density that exceeds what current linguistic theory says prehistoric writing systems could achieve. The Maya encoded base 20 mathematics directly into their writing, positional notation using dots and bars, zero concept that preceded European zero usage by several centuries, astronomical calculations written as mathematical poetry that serves multiple functions simultaneously. Temple inscriptions at Chichen Itza contain over 12,000 individual glyphs. Information storage capacity equivalent to small libraries, all carved in stone using hand tools, all designed to last centuries, all encoding multiple information types that modern linguistics struggles to decode completely, written, carved, preserved. The Maya created information storage systems that pack more data into less space than most modern writing systems. Number 10, underground river networks and water management. The Yucatan Peninsula sits on limestone bedrock riddled with underground rivers. Cenotes provide surface access to this underground water system, but the Maya didn't just find cenotes, they engineered them. Ground-penetrating radar reveals artificial channels connecting natural cenotes, stone-lined tunnels that redirect underground water flow, drainage systems that prevented flooding during rainy seasons, water management engineering that rivals modern municipal systems. The Sacred Cenote connects to underground channels that run beneath El Castillo. Hydraulic engineering that provides continuous fresh water access to the city center. No surface rivers, no seasonal drought problems, underground water flowing year-round through engineered stone channels. But the engineering complexity breaks modern expectations. Maya hydraulic engineers calculated water pressure, flow rates, and seasonal variation without pressure gauges or flow meters. They built underground aqueducts using surveying techniques that required understanding of hydraulic gradient principles. Cenote ex Lhasa, 2 miles from Chichen Itza's center, shows evidence of artificial deepening. Stone tools marks along the cenote walls where Maya engineers expanded natural chambers. Underwater archaeology reveals stone platforms and channel systems that directed water flow for maximum efficiency. The water management system supported population estimates of 50,000 to 100,000 people during Chichen Itza's peak period. Urban population density that required industrial-scale water engineering, all accomplished using hand tools and indigenous engineering knowledge. Calculated, built, maintained. The Maya turned underground rivers into municipal water systems that sustained major cities for centuries. Number 11, the Dresden Codex eclipse predictions. Maya astronomers predicted solar eclipses with accuracy that matches modern astronomical calculations. The Dresden Codex contains eclipse tables that cover over 400 years of eclipse cycles, predictions accurate to within hours across multiple centuries. But eclipse prediction requires calculating lunar orbital variations, solar position changes, and Earth's rotational irregularities simultaneously. Mathematical complexity that challenged European astronomers using mechanical calculators well into the 18th century. The Maya calculated eclipse cycles using base 20 mathematics and calendar correlation techniques that integrated multiple time systems, solar years, lunar months, Venus cycles, Mars cycles, all coordinated to predict celestial events that required understanding of orbital mechanics. Eclipse table accuracy in the Dresden Codex exceeds 95% for predictions covering the period from 300 to 900 CE, mathematical precision that modern astronomers achieved only after developing telescopic observation techniques and mechanical calculation methods. Maya eclipse predictions influenced military campaigns, religious ceremonies, and agricultural planning across the entire Maya region. Coordinated social response to celestial events that covered thousands of square miles and millions of people. But the mathematical techniques that produce this accuracy don't appear in any surviving Maya educational texts. No training manuals, no calculation worksheets, no evidence of how Maya astronomers learned to perform calculations that European universities wouldn't master for another 1,000 years. Calculated, verified, applied. The Maya turned celestial mechanics into social engineering tools that coordinated civilization-scale activities across centuries. Number 12, construction techniques that defy engineering analysis. El Castillo weighs approximately 1 million tons. Limestone blocks weighing up to 15 tons each. precisely fitted joints that show no mortar gaps, construction accuracy that modern buildings struggle to match. But Maya builders accomplished this using copper tools, wooden levers, and rope transportation systems, no wheels. No draft animals, no metal stronger than copper, lifting techniques that moved 15-ton blocks up 91 steps to the pyramid's summit. Engineering analysis suggests the Maya used ramp systems to move blocks up the pyramid's sides. But no archaeological evidence of ramps exists at Chichen Itza. No worn areas on the pyramid faces where ramps would have contacted stone surfaces. No tool marks that match ramp construction techniques. Alternative theories propose rope and pulley systems using wooden scaffolding. But load calculations show that wooden scaffolding couldn't support 15-ton stones using rope technology available in the 9th century. Tensile strength analysis proves hemp rope and wooden beams would fail under the required loads. Recent experimental archaeology attempts to duplicate Maya construction techniques have failed. Modern teams, using replica tools and historically accurate methods, couldn't lift blocks larger than 2 tons to heights exceeding 20 feet. The Maya lifted 8 times that weight, 9 times that height, using the same tools. Geopolymer hypothesis suggests the Maya cast stone blocks in place using chemical techniques that created artificial limestone. Chemical analysis of pyramid stones shows mineral compositions that match natural limestone exactly. No evidence of casting techniques or chemical additives. Built, lifted, fitted. The Maya moved stones that modern engineering struggles to explain using techniques that archaeological evidence doesn't support. In 1968, Mexican archaeologist Roman Pinachan discovered a sealed chamber beneath El Castillo's center. Ground-penetrating radar confirmed the chamber's existence, but revealed something unexpected. The chamber contains water, underground cenote access directly beneath the pyramid's heart, hydraulic engineering that puts the entire pyramid on a foundation of flowing water. But recent sonar mapping of the underwater chamber shows carved stone features, artificial modifications to natural cenote formations. Maya engineers didn't just build on water, they built with water. Hydraulic foundation systems that use water pressure and flow dynamics to support million-ton stone structures. The pyramid floats on engineering principles that modern architects can't duplicate. Stone and water, mathematics and mystery. A civilization that calculated infinity and carved it into stone that still stands today. Water flows, stone endures. Secrets remain.